What up world, it's BK here, and in this video we're going to change the struts on a 2013 Ford Edge. Alright, we're going to start with the front ones. As you can see, they're pretty gnarly. Like, I think the seal in there is broken, that's why it's leaking. So we got these Unity struts for less than $300. It comes with the front and the back, and it's a full coilover strut set, so it's the whole assembly. The back on these things are not coilover spring, they're coil and shock, but the fronts are. It says they're high quality and ready to install. Let's see how true that is. They look really nice. They look like they're pretty strong. So believe it or not, they don't actually say left or right on here, as far as I can tell. So I think the best way to determine it is based on which way the brake line bracket is. So under the car now, this is the passenger side. So we can see here the brake line. So the bracket here is on, if we're looking at the car from the wheel, is on the right side. This side. So that makes this one the passenger side. I would like to say this is relatively simple because there's not a lot of complexity. You have the strut bolted to the strut tower and the knuckle. So take that off, remove the brake line bracket, should be good, right? But before we jack the car up to get to the strut tower bracket, we actually have to remove something. So we're gonna take this off. It's just a few bolts here, and then you have to take off the windshield wipers as well. These little caps cover the bolt for the windshield wipers. Use a tool like this. The 4 bolts in question are these. As you can see, they're tucked here underneath the rain guard. Now, the issue with this truck is that the windshield wipers are seized to the thing. I don't have a jaw puller, so we have to manage without getting this off, which sucks, but we're gonna do that. These wiper blades are corroded, and I don't have a puller tool to try and use this in this. So we are gonna have to use the leverage way. So here's what I'm kind of gonna come up with. We've got this on there, and we're just gonna get a big bar and push it, or pull it. One of those push, I think. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tire and get the car in jack stands. I think's really cool about Ford, I don't know about Fords, but at least this Ford, that I haven't seen on a Toyota yet, which I like my Toyota, so I'm not talking smack, but they have little places for the jack stands to go. Isn't that cool? While that soaks, let's kind of talk about this. So the brake line brackets here. So we're gonna remove this, and we're gonna remove whatever this thing is, brake lines. I think this is maybe ABS or something. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna remove it. So this line will come off, and then once these bolts come out, it's gonna be hard, but we're gonna slide the knuckle forward. Once this clears, this will kind of like jolt forward. So we're gonna go, so this is a 10 mil, these are 21s, and this here is like on a clip thing. So you can see there, it's like a clip. We push the top and down in and push it out, and then yeah, that's this one, and then there's those. So I have this long bar on there, and you can see it turned it loosely, so I'm gonna squirt it some more and do it again. But we have access to an impact gun. It's just living off grid makes using power kind of hard and precious. So we're gonna keep trying to, if this doesn't work, because I think this breaker bar is strong, so we'll just add more length. Turn this just with our arm, we can get the socket on there. so we have the bolts kind of hanging in there just enough to keep the knuckle from like pulling away from the strut. Honestly, it's pretty rusted in there, so once those come out, it won't move anyways. You're gonna have to get some oil, or we're gonna use penetrant and then kind of like yank on it. The thing is here, now we won't actually go any farther down because we're capped on vertical movement by the length of the sway bar. So the sway bar is keeping us at this point. So once we loosen that, it's going to let it drop as far as the steering, whatever this is called, tie rod ends for the steering will go. So that's probably about like right here, which is enough to clear that. So I usually put a jack underneath this to kind of like just support it just enough. Now let's remove the sway bar linkage. So the thing that's going on with this guy is pretty interesting. So you've got this bolt here, and the bolt actually spins freely on this. There's a bushing here connected to, I guess, a bearing, and then that's what the bolt is actually connected to. So if you try to spin this nut, it spins the bolt too. But what they have is this hex socket here. So it's an H6. You put an H6 in here, you hold it, and then you use like a 19 to turn this. Once you get it loose enough, you can start turning the bolt, which will pull this forward. Now that these are separated, it did take quite a bit of wiggling and moving. But once it's out, it's out. So now this can move on here. This is caught on this. So we're gonna loosen these and get these completely off now. Yeah, because this was rusted. Now we have to do this. Turn a bolt. One turn at a time. Quarter turn at a time. It's okay, let's be present. We're turning a bolt now. What we're doing is turning the bolt. Ever in this moment, we are turning this bolt. And all we are thinking about is the bolt and how it turns. Okay, so jaw puller would work, I think, to get the unstuck the windshield wipers. That's small enough for sure. But 13 ratcheting would probably work too. Big price difference. Look at this little guy. This is a nightmare. Just come out. Your big concern here is the brake line. You don't want to stress it too much. They are flexible brake lines, so you'll have some ability to move around them. So even though it didn't look like it was damaged, you can see here that it actually is. So the seal is broken as well, and that's why we can see a bunch of dirt residue there. So it's good to compare your new part with your old part, so you make sure that they are the same. So here we got that bolt bracket is actually bent the wrong direction, but that should be fine. We can rebend it. And that tab. Everything else seems the same. So now that we have determined that this is the right part and everything will fit, we're going to put it together. So I'm going to take off these like little sticker things and literally just shove it back in, get a couple of these on there, so then we can guide the knuckle piece back in. Yeah. Okay, so I had to use a jack to kind of jack it back up into place so you can get the sway bar linkage back in. Okay, so it took me 10 hours yesterday and 2 hours today. Sweet. Congratulations. Now you know how to change the struts on a Ford Edge, at least the front ones. If you want to learn how to do the back ones, we're going to do that in a future video. You can check it out here. If you learned something, hit the like button or comment and let me know what I did wrong. Keep striving to your personal goals, and I'll see you next time.